Hey, welcome back everyone for some more fun with FIFA 10. And in this game, I kind of previewed it in the previous segment, but this match is going to feature Burnley versus Cardiff City. Now, I did mention Burnley in the last video, so it shouldn't be much of a surprise I'm covering them this time, and I know I'm going to be playing against Cardiff City because these two teams played this past weekend to a 0-0 draw, so... And Burnley's trying to get promoted to the Premier League, but as far as we see from Cardiff City, they use the width of the pitch to open up play for an advancing fullback, then switch to play. They look to get the ball into the target man, which in this case is Craig Bellamy, as you can see from the star on the right-hand side. And they tend to crowd the penalty area when on the attack. But before I start the game, I figured I'd look at my formation here, make sure it's compatible to be against Cardiff City and that, and I like the way that my formation looked, so I didn't feel like changing it, so... But I'm gonna apologize in advance, too, because, like I said in the last video, I had lost my profile and all my settings in that, so I had to make a new one up, and I didn't realize it, but I thought I had the right settings to begin with before I started this, but as you'll see, that things are a little bit different here. I don't think they're too drastic, but to me, they were. It was enough where it was kind of distracting. So, as you can see, both the teams on the pitch here. As you can see, Burnley looked pretty impressive in midfield, especially with Chris McCann, Jerry Burton, Dean Murney, and Matthew Taylor, with Jutkiewicz and Rowan Hennings up front. And you can see Cardiff City with the same formation, with Hyder Helgeson and Craig Bellamy being the striking partnership for Cardiff City. And also, this game was made back before Vincent Tan changed the colors of Cardiff to red, which I thought was really stupid, but here, what ended up happening is that Cardiff's colors are now back to blue again after fan backlash, but yeah, it's sad that they spent a whole lot of time trying to get in the Premier League, and they only spend one season up in the top flight, and they happen to wear red even though that their nickname is the Bluebirds, so... But yeah, that didn't make sense, doesn't it? But as you can see, Jutkiewicz with opening up the scoring here for Burnley. Former Middlesbrough striker, if I can speak English. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, Burnley is pushing for a promotion spot, and you can already see some of the differences already. You can see that the name just appears for a second when the player gets the ball. And also on the scoreboard, you don't see any of the team names up in the thing, so... Now, I do have to say something, and that it's this guy right here, Rowan Hennings. He was a last-minute addition I gave to Burnley. I got him from St. Pauli, which currently play, if I'm not mistaken, in the second division of German football. But he ended up being quite a good player for me in this game, as you'll see later on. See Matthew Taylor, the former Bolton and West Ham midfielder. Jutkiewicz moving forward here, and you can see Lee Naylor with a good defense there.
Helgeson.
But yeah, not only did Cardiff City, which that was a bad foul there, but not only did Cardiff City change back to the blue kits, but they also changed their crest too, which it's a little bit of a combination of the crest that you see in this game and the most recent crest whenever they were red. So, but yeah, I'm not sure how much I like it, but you know what? I'm just glad they're blue again. That's all. And speaking of crest, I do not like the new crest that Sheffield Wednesday has at all. I like the current one much better. And I think the one that they're going to be switching to starting next season, I think it's god-awful ugly, but hey, to each their own. You can see Jutkiewicz hitting the post there, but he gets his rebound. And it's 3-0 Burnley. As far as badges, while I'm still on the subject, I like Burnley's badge. I know the badge that they had beforehand what looked more like a coat of arms or a seal of the city than what it did an actual badge for a football club, but they switched the badge that you see here just when this game came out, when they got promoted to the Premier League for the first time. this was their first season where they wore their new badges, so... But yeah, I think it's really cool, and I really like the badge. And I have to admit, it did suck quite a bit seeing them get relegated from the Premier League last season, because I do like them as a team. And I just thought of it. If Aston Villa go down, which it's looking more like a certainty than an if, but... And you see the nifty goal there by Rowan Hennings. Now, that's what I was talking about before. To me, he's kind of like a hidden gem to Burnley, and I'm glad that I added him on for them, because he turned out to be... I mean, that goal is just superb. I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I mean, all I do is control him, but as far as him actually kicking them and seeing where it goes and that I think I'm convinced that's all him, so I can't take all the credit for that, so...
He's got away from his marker.
But yeah, it looks like Aston Villa is going to get relegated, and Burnley's still in the promotion hunt, even though they're certainly not a lock for one of the 2 automatic promotion spots. But if Aston Villa do go down and Burnley do not get promoted, that means that West Ham United is going to be the only claret and blue team left in the Premier League. But the good thing is that I don't see West Ham's, unless something drastic happens next season, I think they're going to be staying in the Premier League for a good amount of seasons now. I know they're having a good season right now. As a matter of fact, they're pushing for a top 4 spot right now, which is pretty impressive, considering where they were last year, just scraping by. Of course, they weren't in any real relegation trouble. As you can see, a pretty neat goal right there by Jutkovic, but yeah, they weren't near as bad of a relegation trouble, say like Newcastle or anything like them were last year, but it's nice to see how much they improved under Slaven Bilic since he took over from Sam Allardyce, who's the current boss of Sunderland. But yeah, I don't see, and not only that, if I'm not mistaken, West Ham is another one of those teams that's going to get a new badge starting next season, and again, I'm not really crazy over the proposed badge, so... And watch this goal! Look at that turn! Wasn't that cool? When I played that, I was not expecting that. I was just shooting. I did not expect him to make that kind of turn. I mean, that's something you would expect from like a player like... Oh, I don't know, like a Cristiano Ronaldo or even like a Wayne Rooney, but Lukas Jutkovic making that kind of move, that impressed me. Yeah, needless to say, I underestimated these Burnley forwards a little bit because they actually got the job done here.
Keeper blocks it.
But yeah, I'm not real crazy over the new badge at... you can see another good goal there by Jutkovic. I'm not real crazy over the new badge that West Ham is getting either. And I know this is going to be their last season in Upton Park before they move to the new Olympic Stadium, but... Yeah, once again, it's just popular opinion, you know, it's each their own, but for me personally, I don't really care much for it. I like the crest that they have now, so...
Bit of a tangle there.
But yeah, I thought the midfield was going to be the stars for Burnley in this match, but as you can see between Rowan Hennings and Lukas Jutkovic, they made a pretty good striking team there, and as you can see, it's the end of the first half, and 5 goals by Jutkovic and 3 from Hennings, and it's 8-0 Burnley. As we look at some of the stats here, and you see there's only 1 assist from 8 goals. Okay, let's see who the assist was. I don't remember. Oh, it was Dean Marney. If I'm not mistaken, every single one of my starting midfielders have a rating of at least a 70, so they're not really a midfielding quartet to trifle with, so to speak, but you can see Hennings with some clever footwork there. See Jutkovic trying to get the ball there.
Picks up the ball in a good position.
McCann trying to push forward.
Good reaction from the keeper.
Of course, forcing the save and Burnley get the corner here, but
Looked like it was going in.
Well, you know something. He won't come.
But yeah, I could have done better with that corner, but I think I'm getting better with the corner kicks. The ones that I won't get though are the free kicks. I mean, it's like too far and few between where I actually get at least close to being on target with a free kick. So that is definitely going to have to be something that I work on my own time. But that's really something I'm not really worried about either, because I hardly get any free kicks called on me. If anything, I get a lot of them called against me. But as you can see, Jetkovic scoring his 6th goal of the game there. And don't worry, the scoring's not done yet. So, and we'll see that here shortly. But there's going to be a little bit of a dry spell here. Jetkovic losing the ball to Cowie, passing it to Helgeson here. Heider Helgeson, the former QPR striker. If I'm not mistaken, I did have him on QPR's roster for a while before I gave him back to Cardiff. And there's some good defending right there by Cardiff to prevent me from getting my 10th goal. See, I always thought his name was pronounced Shackle, not Shackle. But, what do I know? I've always pronounced it Jason Shackle, but to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if Shackle was right. The commentator might be right in his pronunciation, but I'm not positive, so I'm just gonna call him Shackle. Although that might not be right.
Floats it over.
See, oh, and that was almost a stupid move right there. I don't know what. And I was pushing to my left and make sure that something like that wouldn't happen, because last thing I wanted to do at this point was to give Cardiff a corner. And that's another one of my weak points. I may be good at when it comes to corners, but I'm terrible at defending them. So that is another thing I'm going to have to work on. But luckily I didn't get bit there.
Now he's got one more to beat.
See, Henning's trying to make something happen here. Of course, good defending there. David Marshall was able to get that ball. See Michael Duff. I don't know offhand if he's still with the team. I know he was there for several seasons with Burnley. As a matter of fact, he was with them for both of the Premier League seasons. So I'm not sure if he's actually still on the team or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he still is, because he's one of those type of players that like to stick with one team over a period of time. As you can see, Jetkovic here with the ball here, trying to make something happen. Paul Quinn easily able to read that. Helgeson trying to lead a counterattack against me. I almost committed a foul there. Joey Burton, I got him from Marseille. Of course, another former QPR player. Of course, he was also a former Manchester City and Newcastle United player too. And I thought I'd put him in there to strengthen an already good Burnley midfield. And he really isn't a bad player. I know he's outspoken in that, and he gets himself into trouble quite a bit. But I think him getting in trouble overshadows his talents, because he is a talented guy, but he needs to simmer down a bit. But yeah, he's certainly not a bad player. As you can see, I finally get my 10th goal there by Jetkovic. That's his 7th of the game right there to make it 10-0 Burnley. Oh, I wish I had the names of the teams up there. And I really wish that my indicators right there weren't screwed up either. I thought for sure I had this fixed before I started this, but oh well. I will say that this is the only game where this occurs. In the next video of this, things do return back to normal, so I may have that video sometime tomorrow or the next day. I just don't know when yet. I still haven't finished saving the video yet, but as you can see, Jetkovic getting his 8th goal there. And that finishes off the scoring. I do have to say that right now. There's not going to be any more scoring. Probably should have got some substitutes. Like, I probably could have subbed both my forwards and Matt Taylor, but I decided not to. Figured, you know, what's the point? And you see some very reckless defending near the end of this game here. I very nearly blew it here. And I thought for sure Lee Grant was going to put it out, which would have meant a corner kick for Cardiff. And if that would have been the case, I would not have been very happy. As you can see, I'm just trying to kill off time here. Shouldn't be too much longer now. Just pass it to Lee Grant. Shackle almost blew it there, which he actually did blow it there, as you can see. One last attempt by John Perkin, which I don't know what my guys were doing here, but see, Marnie's getting fatigued there, and luckily that is the end of the match, and I did not concede, and I was able to get the clean sheet. As you can see in the second half, it was all Jutkovic scoring the 3 goals for Burnley in that period, but as you can see, possession is 65% to 35%. That's not too bad. And I didn't even bother showing the rest of the stats because they were pretty much the same as what they were to begin with, so. But that's pretty much it, so thank you guys so much for watching this. And you're gonna see I unlocked a whole bunch of stuff since this is a new profile net, so. There, you're gonna see an achievement that I made here. And I earned 500 points, which I did end up spending on some stadiums, but as you can see there, I got the achievement of scoring 10 goals, so. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you guys are enjoying this segment, and I'll be seeing you guys again next time.